Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players, and Atesh Shorto here. Today, I'm going to talk about Darth Maul, and I'm also going to talk about a little bit of Leviathan, but the reason why I'm talking about Darth Maul is because of the Leviathan, and that is the fact that his Sith ship will be a synergy with the Furyk class, the upcoming Leviathan, as well as the other Sith ships being the Sith Starfighter and the Sith Extinction class bomber. Outside of that, we don't know what the other two ships are going to be, but there's going to be two new Sith ships. Probably one tied to Sith Empire Trooper, and maybe one tied to just maybe no one, or maybe they give it, or they might be weird and give it to HK, or they give the shuttle that Bastila lands on to Bastila, fallen Bastila. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see. That would be an interesting one for sure. But Darth Maul, the reason why I'm talking about him is he is probably a character that, I don't know if it's not confirmed, but he might, but I would definitely 100% do it. Reworked. Darth Maul deserves a rework. For the longest time, he has deserved a rework. I've talked about a few videos on it. Like I did ones that were a video talking about characters that need either a Darth Vader level rework, Mace Windu, or a Royal Guard / Gamorrean Guard rework. Darth Maul deserves a Darth Vader level rework. He's a fan favorite. Yes, we got a Maul, a Mandalorian Maul, as you will, in game, but we don't have this Darth Maul working out very well. And it's kind of sad. There's a lot of people not using a lot of some of these lower tier Sith, like Sith Assassin, sometimes Sith Marauder, because they're throwing Talon with some others, and yeah, it's debatable. Savage with Talon or Marauder. Marauder gets bounced around. HK is also kind of out of the loop, even though he's Sith Empire. But Darth Maul, he's not used at all, really. And it's kind of sad. Like, a lot of people are probably wanting him used more. A lot of people want his kit to work. So I'm going to propose some thoughts on his kit, but I want to talk about first what Sith leaders are out there that are actually being used. So, first one is Emperor Palpatine. And as you saw a quick glimpse, a lot of the times, maybe a few random Sith, like Sith Empire Trooper here and there, but Emperor Palpatine, a majority of the time, is paired with Mara Jade, which actually does have some Sith synergy, and Starkiller. That's the team that Starkiller goes with a lot of the times. Outside of that, Starkiller, pulls a random Sith here and there, maybe Savage, but that's it. Like, I think like 80-90% of the player base that has Starkiller, Palpatine goes with. Yes, I know you're happy and evil and all that. Aside from that, they're really running Impure Empire. Like, I know Moff Tarkin had a Datacron at one time, so he paired with Palpatine. But yeah, a lot of times, even though, yes, he leads Sith as well as Empire, a lot of his teams are usually with Empire. Mara Jade, sometimes Vader, so yeah. And speaking of Vader, Darth Vader, he is one that actually, I don't know, what would you say? He's more solo based, or if he's paired with any teams. Yeah, you could pair him with the Empire under Emperor Palpatine, because there's a lot of synergy there, because he could go AoE and start his Merciless Massacre right after, as long as there's no team preventing his turn meter from the AoE. So he gets extra damage over times out there before the battle starts. He's also paired with Lord Vader, because that's an obvious. He bounces around, puts ability blocks, makes it harder for players to attack a Lord Vader team. And he's usually soloing. Like, I tend to use him to solo a lot of teams. Either I solo or I throw some random Empire in there just to soak up some damage so I can finish the job. That's what Darth Vader. And then he also has some synergy with Dr. Aphra, but not a lot of people have her yet. And there's people that are just running straight droids. HK, since he's being, Darth Revan's pulled away under Malgus, and so on. So IG-88. So, but Vader goes in there as well. So, next is the Sith Triumvirate, being under lead of Darth Nihilus or Darth Traya. In Grand Arena, Darth Nihilus has risen up a little bit because of Traya's Omicron, boosting more health and damage. Yes, crit damage is, out of the window. But as long as you have those two plus Savage, you can get a bunch of turn meter on Savage. He can hit hard. Savage also has stacking health, so Nihilus is great. I actually use Darth Nihilus here and there on some teams to save banners, because Traya only heals health and doesn't heal the protection, where Nihilus, there's no protection. Sometimes I use Nihilus to solo stuff, depending on what's being soloed. 3v3 weak Jedi Bastila team with like Barris and some random take like old Ben. Because I don't know, I have the top highest tenacity in the game of Darth Nihilus being 201. But yeah, he sits there and solos those teams at 3v3 because he's like, yeah. So these two leads are used quite a bit, especially since Traya lead also pushes up above her weight, which is nice. Then you got the two Sith Empire leads, Revan and Malgus. But then most of them synergize mostly with Sith Empire. Sith Eternal, they do this plus some tanks. Old Daka zombie or Brood Alpha. I use Brood Alpha and Sunfac just to, hold the line until Armor and Wat Tambor get their attacks on Sith Eternal, and then the rest of the team dies. So he doesn't really lead Sith, even though Darth Maul's a requirement for him. Sad. Then there's Savage. Savage does solo some teams, or some people will run Darth Sidious lead for this stacking, the crit chance, crit damage, but the stacking offense when they crit. And Savage, here's his crit under the without the lead, 67 for me, but he also gets an extra 15%, which, that's 777, so it's like 80 something. But anyways, so yeah, it's 82%, yeah. So it boosts the crit chance, but he's also, when he crits, he stacks up more offense that way. And then Dooku, a character that doesn't work with, unfortunately doesn't work with Sith. He only works with Separatists. He does have some synergies with some of the Sith. He also does it with Night Sisters too, as if, like Plague or like Sith Empire Trooper, Sith Assassin and Dooku attack under the protection. If they get low enough and you have Savage, he can just start dropping off those characters. I'll admit, I wish Savage's mass damage, if they defeat an enemy with the ability, he prevents the revive, but yeah. I honestly wish this also had Sith allies in there. Getting counter chance would be nice, but CG, they got to play their little balance game, and I don't think that would be a broken thing to have Sith countering under any team, because they do counter under Sith Eternal. So, but yeah, those are the Sith leads. Darth Maul's a niche Sith lead just because he does get some turn meter. Some people do Sith Empire. If they don't have Malgus, they do Sith Empire under him from time to time to trip some people up. Sith Triumvirate as well to get the Sith trio going, to get the Annihilates off. So, he needs some more love in his leadership. Gives him maybe some accuracy, some damage, some health, something. Potency, tenacity would be nice. Boost up I will say one thing I do like about him is the first, which this was nerfed when the tank raid came out back in 2018, I believe. In 2018, it was just because it kept reflowing through this, so it got to the point where the tank raid couldn't hit him because he was so evasive. And he got to the point where he barely tap him and recover the full amount of health. So yeah, it was nerfed. So I wouldn't mind seeing more of this, because there's a lot of characters now that they revive, like Night Sisters and stuff like that. So it'd be kind of nice to have first enemy, second enemy, third enemy, fourth enemy. And if for any reason there's a fifth enemy, he gets a lot more stats. Kind of rare, because a lot of times on a fifth enemy in a normal game mode, Grand Arena, TW, it would, not counting certain teams that revive a team, it would just end the battle because you win. But like I said, Night Sisters, Brood Alpha resummons his unit. Jedi with Jolie will revive all, and then he'd have to keep going again. So it'd be kind of cool to have more stats of that. One thing I would like to see, and is another ability, as well as when he's in the leadership, to summon his Sith probe droids. That would be nice. CG just needs some ideas. And here's some ideas for you, CG. If you've listened to this point, it'd be nice to actually see this character in its full, entire usefulness. He's amazing. He's such a loved character. Why is he so weak in this game? I'm someone that's going to be pushing for Maul to get a rework, kind of like Ram Bam with Mace Windu. And I'm sorry, Ram. Actually, I'm not sorry about this, but I pick Mace. I would pick Maul over Mace any single day. Maul's just such a cooler character, a better character. Plus, Mace doesn't like Ahsoka, especially when she left the Order. He starts calling her a citizen. Citizen my eye. She did a lot of heavy lifting as a so-called citizen. She captured Maul. The only reason she had to let him go is because Order 66 happened. If Order 66 didn't happen for another 3-4 months, Maul would be in custody. Probably killed by his master, to be honest. So Order 66 actually saved Maul. So yeah. You, as a Jedi, didn't go capture Maul, Mace. You let a citizen do that. Tisk, tisk. But anyways, yeah, Maul 100% deserves a rework. And on LT 101, if you do get this far into my video, I will say this. I call you out to make a video kind of like the Grievous. I don't have the tech to actually make it, unfortunately. Or I would, especially since I'm a smaller YouTuber. But I would say a song is needed to not rework Grievous. It's rework Maul. Rework Maul. That's what we need right now. Get the community going. Say, hey, we need a rework for Maul. Maul deserves a rework. A massive rework. An extra ability or two. Zetas. Yes, you can add your Omicron CG. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I still love Omicrons, but I still want him useful in other game modes, not just one. That's what some of these characters are getting, is just one game mode. The other game modes, they're just meh. They're just fodder. But yeah. They're fluff in other game modes. It's kind of sad. But aside from a topic for another video on Omicrons, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What would you like to see this Darth Maul do? What would you like him not to do? I will say also one last thing. I would like to see him start the encounter on stealth, regardless of leadership or not. That'd be kind of nice. Aside from that, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all those who watch the videos I make, and you guys have a phenomenal day.